would be fantastic if people kind of considered the marine environment as something that we're very entangled with, not as something separate or distant, but something.
I'm Tanya Kiang. I'm the curator here at the Photo Museum Ireland and curator of this project Groundswell exhibition.
My name is Yvette Monahan. I'm a photographer and artist, and I'm one of the artists in the Project Groundswell exhibition with a piece called The Ocean Within.
Tell us, Yvette, what is The Ocean Within all about? How did you get started?
So the work started, I suppose, in my mind in 2024 when I started photographing jellyfish off the Sligo coast. And I realized at that point that I wanted to make quite a large body of work about telling vital stories about the marine environment. I was fortunate to receive a commission from Belfast Photo Festival that paired me with the Marine Institute in Northern Ireland. So by working with the scientists that I was paired with, they gave me access to their research and knowledge, which involved looking at the otolith, or the ear stone, and salmon scales, which act as biochronologies for the fish, telling their stories. So I was really interested in looking at the fish as living archives and as memory holders and myth makers.
Would you like to tell us about, for example, the salmon scale picture here? Tell us a little bit more about making that.
Yeah, so this work, this image was made with a microscope, with a camera attached to a microscope, and I used the microscope up in the Bushmills salmon listening station, which is just on the Bush River, and they have a
salmon listening
station. Yeah. Now, as they go through, they have these little things that beep, so it's not as romantic as it sounds.
Right.
But then they kind of ferry them into these containers, check them, and then let them pass on their way so they can see the health of the fish and the wild fish, the wild salmon. So what they do is they have a data bank of these tiny scales taken from a living salmon, like you would get, like if you went to the fishmonger, you see them, they get stuck to your, digits. But they have a data bank of those, and they look at them at this kind of intensity to read this, they call it the story of the fish. So what I did was I used the camera attached to the microscope and played with the different lighting that was available in that laboratory setup, with some microspecular lights, just to bring parts of the scale to life. And what the scientists do is they use these to determine how long the fish spent in the river and how long it spent in the ocean, and how it fed and what waters it swam and what kind of temperatures. So they can tell an awful lot of information from this. But when I saw them, I wanted to make like a different type of image. So there's probably less information on it, but more contrast. But yeah.
Right. No, it's beautiful. In general, the installation has such a poetic quality. What kind of ideas would you like viewers to kind of come away with having seen it?
Yeah, well, I suppose it would be fantastic if people kind of considered the marine environment as something that we're very entangled with, not as something separate or distant, but something that's very immediate and that needs to be protected.